In the age when almost every game tries to be bigger, add an open world aspect, character progression, build systems and gear or complex story, occasionally we get the gem like Boltgun that tells you, this is your bolter, heresy is this way, purge, and purge you will. This simplicity feels so liberating. Welcome to Bizarre Gaming recommendation list, and today I'm going to give you my opinion on why Warhammer 40k Boltgun is bloody awesome.
Time to play the game! It's all about the game, and how you play it. All about the run, if you get sick, it's all about the stand, and you can play it. It's all about the game, who's gonna make it? I am the game.
First, full disclosure, I don't give a hot shit about the boomer shooter subgenre, or any subgenre. First-person shooter is a first-person shooter, and the game has to be a good shooter in the first place. I also do not share any crazy love for this pixelated art style. While on rare occasions I may be in the mood for retro-feeling games, I will never fall for pixelated art by itself. I'm telling you that because I want to be 100% clear. I do not recommend Boltgun as a great boomer shooter game. I do recommend Boltgun as a great FPS game. Perhaps with a retro feel, but even if you don't look for this feel, there is a solid chance you will enjoy it. As I already mentioned, Boltgun is an extremely simple game. It is mission based. Every mission you start with a fixed amount of health, contempt, essentially armor, and ammo for all available weapons. The only thing that can be impacted by previous mission is your arsenal. Once you find a weapon for the first time, it will be available till the end of the chapter. Game is split into 3 chapters, so you will experience 2 resets. Same weapon can be encountered in multiple missions, so don't worry, you will eventually get all of them. Every mission has essentially the same structure. You need to get from the start point to finish point, purging heresy on the way. Sometimes you need to find keys, sometimes you need to do a bit of a backtracking, but ultimately it is just finding the way out. There is a solid variety of level designs. Some are more corridor style with pretty much one path with small branches to get some extra ammo, health and other stuff. Some are interconnected labyrinths where you open new paths as you progress. There was an amazing elevator level that is essentially, the whole level is giant elevator. Elevator itself is a combat arena. Every time you move it to the next level, new enemies spawn. To move it to the next level, you need to find the key on the current level. Level design in this game is so good that at some point I started to think maybe it is blessed by the Emperor himself. Navigation through those levels feels very rewarding as you create the map in your head. Yes, in your head, as in old school games. No map or minimap in the game for you. Because, I mean, come on, who needs the map when you've been given a holy text? While the question where to go is a common companion in this game, I almost never get puzzled by the question where am I right now. I always could identify where I am by just looking around. Apart from the main path, every level contains so-called secrets, essentially upgrades. Some of them last for a limited period of time, some of them for a limited number of shots, and some till the end of the mission. None of them are carried over to the next mission. Timed secrets are mostly on the main path, hidden in one of the boxes, or positioned on some hard-to-reach platform. Permanent upgrades, on the other hand, could be hidden in optional locations. I played on medium difficulty because I'm not really good at shooter games, to be honest, and I never was in a situation where I was struggling because I didn't collect some of those secrets. Though I am pretty sure balance is different on Exterminator's difficulty. At some areas the game will engage Purge Protocol, and you won't be able to leave the arena till you get rid of all heretics in the name of the Holy Emperor. Sometimes it will throw the boss into the mix as well. Honestly, I don't know what to say about it. It is there, it triggers a fast-paced action event, it is absolutely awesome. You turn enemies into bloody mess, collect resources when you're low, repeat till the area is cleaned from heresy. Carving your path through the hordes of enemies feels so good. You control the real Space Marine. You are fast but heavy. Ground is trembling as you charge with your holy boulder to rid the galaxy of those renegades. Fall damage? There is no fall damage, because Space Marines do not fall. They descend on the heads of apostates to bring them to justice. Overwhelmed by hordes of enemies? Pull the trigger of the heavy boulder and pin dissidents down. Out of ammo, Chainsword will dismember those heretics with contempt. Need a break? Here are some holy texts to keep you on the right path. There are no particular vulnerabilities of the enemies to some types of weapons. Instead, the game provides you with different situations where you want to use different weapons, be it for effectiveness or for ammo economy. Weapons do feel different enough, and each of them is satisfying in their own way. But I love Bolter the most because those are iconic and because, well, just listen to it. Chainsword, apart from being just a close combat weapon, is also a traversal tool. When you pull the trigger, it fixates on the target if there is one in range and slows time. As you release it, your character dashes to the target and smashes it with the sword. You can use it to get from one platform to another and don't worry about missing the jump. In some cases, it can even get you to the places where regular dash and jump won't take you. Kinda like a grappling hook from the Doom. The combat mechanics reinforced by quite a decent enemy variety in this game, from lesser demons and regular footmen who die from single bolter shots to chaos terminators who can take a huge chunk of your ammo. All of them have slightly different behavior and different attack patterns, though attacks are fairly slow and predictable. The biggest criticism I have here is regarding close combat attacks. They are hard to read, and even though some of them hit like a truck, you don't really feel the impact in any way except seeing your health/armor go down. But this is a minor thing. All of this adds up to the fast-paced, brutal action that sucks you in from the first mission. I was forcing myself to stop playing and go to sleep because I wanted more and more. As you can imagine, it's quite a shallow stuff, so it can't engage you for too long. But the moment thoughts about being tired of this game crossed my mind, the game was over. It took me about 10 hours, and it is a perfect length for this game. It is safe to say Boltgun does not overstay its welcome. That said, it's not like there is nothing to master in this game. Many times it crossed my mind how cool it would be to find and memorize the perfect routes for every mission, so we can storm through it collecting all the secrets, upgrades, purging every enemy along the way. I am not good enough in shooters to ever do it on the highest difficulty, but maybe I will still do it on the medium one. What else to say about this game? Story? You purge heresy, that's the story. What else do you need? Also, Boltgun has an amazing music in my opinion. As I said in the beginning, I am not a big fan of this retro style visuals, but in this case it fits because of its old school approach to the level design and combat. It is not a game that looks retro, it is a game that plays retro, with the exception of criminally smooth controls. If it was the same game but just with modern 3D graphics, I would still enjoy it. Perhaps I could enjoy it even more. But we also need to understand that this is a game developed by a small indie studio with limited resources. And the moment you go for modern looks, you need to invest in animation, lighting, and the worst of all, optimization that has proven to be a problem nowadays even for giant AAA products. And where would you get those resources from? We have seen multiple times how a small studio gets too ambitious, and as a result we get the product so half-baked that the oven probably was not turned on. Developers of Boltgun never tried to chew on a bigger piece than they could, and the result is fun, brutal, gory, and engaging first-person shooter in Warhammer 40k universe. It is not going to turn your world upside down or provide a sandbox where you can get lost for hundreds of hours. But if you are up to some single-minded quality heresy slaying fun, you can't go wrong with Boltgun, especially considering it costs a fraction of AAA game. And because of all of that, it absolutely deserves a spot in the recommendation